This is WWE 2K23. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So what are we getting here? It's a 4K resolution, 60 FPS, and there are a few differing ways to play. So obviously you can play it by yourself and set up all these differing matches and competitions and ways to play. Or you can also do local action up to 6 players, online action up to 8 players, with varying levels of co-op being locked at 4. You know, there's some differing multiplayer type modes that you can enjoy within the game. So this is a special version of the experience, as this does help celebrate a 20-year career with John Cena. Obviously, the invisible man is on the cover, so it's very hard to see who's actually taking the stage this time around. But I guarantee you it is John Cena. So with that, you get showcase events, where you get to go through an interactive sports documentary that's actually narrated by John Cena, going through some of the biggest moments of his career. So if you're a fan of that individual, you will find this to be quite delightful and fun. It's a nice little interactive, again, narrative-driven adventure, where you get to just, kind of see some of the highlights and some of the big moments, which is actually kind of well done and an interesting addition to the game. There is also the new War Games, so 3v3, 4v4 multiplayer mayhem, inside, side-by-side rings, cage action. War Games takes things up a bit of a notch, so that's a nice little extra as well. Your traditional modes are here, too. You can do like 1v1, varying levels of differing, combatants, 1-at-1, 2v2, stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about. Then there's like cage matches, there's weapons, and you can taunt with weapons for the first time too, I guess. So that's kind of a nice little touch there. You can also do things like what we're seeing here with the Royal Rumble. Have like 30 competitors go in and face off. The very traditional modes are all here available from a quick play menu. Then you have the online actions as well, the online multiplayer to compete against others in various forms, and that's actually been further integrated into a number of the differing modes that exist across this experience, and we're of course going to be diving into them. The game, as you can also tell, has a great suite of customization options, whether you're making custom characters, sharing custom characters, downloading what others have made, or really just customizing different elements of your existing roster. You can change things like the colors of the outfits, the materials, the textures, the differing weird cosmetic things they're wearing. It's all available and just ready for you to download. Like literally all of these characters straight up on the Series X can just be downloaded. I've actually got a filled roster, so it'd be nice if they increased your download roster a little bit. Feels a little minimal, but you can have a range of individuals here for a lot of fun and some straight up wacky scenarios. So what else have we seen adjusted? There's the Universe, which is sandbox mode to manage the superstar rosters. There's My Faction, which is a card-based element of the game. So, all your respectable sports games have to have a card-based system built in. So this is where you build up a squad or a team of legends, I guess you would say. And it's also got online integrations now, so that you can actually take that a step further and show off the greatness that you have been building through the cards that you collect and the various setups that you create within the card-based system. So, kind of an interesting element. There's My Rise, where you work your way through a WWE Superstar career. You can either do the men option, or there's also the women option as well. So you can kind of pick and choose which storyline you would like to go through and make your way in that actual narrative. So that one is a little, like, you make some light choices and stuff, and it's pretty guided, but, you do kind of feel like you're living the life, I guess. I don't know. Just like last year, I kind of found that mode to be a little, so-so. There's work to be done, but, I think it is improving, and it does offer more and more as it continues to expand. There's also My GM, where you take on the reins of a weekly show. Matches with up to 4 players now present. So that one's kind of just like a little bit of a business side of things. It's decently in depth. It offers a variety of different ways to control stuff. So, that's kind of a nice option. I know some people really like the general manager aspect of, doing these sporting games. So I think that one is quite a lot of fun. So those are kind of your main game modes. Like it is a really well-rounded, take on WWE. Last year was a bit of a refresh, a reboot, a fresh start for the series. They really did expand on things, and while it wasn't necessarily perfectly well done, this is actually, I thought it was pretty well done, but, I think this is a nice further refinement of last year's version. Matches and stuff load up nice and quick now, smoothly. I think visually it does look a little better, a little sharper. There's lots of good density within the crowd, variety within the crowd. They all move, they all do their stuff. They've done a lot of refinements and polishing and just expansions upon differing areas of the game. So they had a good base last year that I thought was pretty well put together. And then this year they're just taking it a little bit of a step further just to continue to fine-tune things, upgrade stuff. I mean, it's a yearly sports game, so you do obviously keep expectations in check, but I think they've actually put together a pretty great WWE experience. It's got all the thrills and all the fun of it. It all seems to play quite well. I did notice the odd crash. I had one crash during gameplay. Crashes, just like last year, seem to be when you're downloading custom characters, so that seems to be a bit of the online integration element. But other than that, regular gameplay, it seems to all run relatively smooth and fine. I didn't really have any issues. It's all clean. You get, like, the odd silly bug, but, for the most part, this actually is a really well-polished WWE experience that captures the spirit of the event and the game and everything like that. And, it's got a wide range of different wrestlers from some differing eras, and then they have some fun with the additional modes. We've also got some more fine-tuning on the actual gameplay mechanics. It's going to play and feel very similarly to, kind of last year's gameplay, but they have adjusted things with stamina being a little bit more emphasized. Your characters, they get tired, and you can definitely see that, especially in the Rumbles, too. And we do have various live streams of the Rumbles if you want to see more of the hilarity of the characters going at it. But, yeah, it's just kind of like stamina seems to be a lot more of a deep thing, where it's like characters are definitely getting, like, exhausted and tired. And that factors into your ability to be able to, like, keep things going. And, wow, Biden is really spry. Make sure that you're not being, like, kind of easily taken out, or if you don't have stamina going on, a little bit more easily taken out, I guess you would say. So stamina is just a bigger part of this. Pinning has also been revamped if you choose to go in that direction. It's a bit of a different sort of movement kind of scheme in how they handle it. They just keep trying to refine and offer new options for how you deal with the whole pinning system and I guess you would say the whole mat-based combat, right? There's female referees now, so that's an addition as well. Kind of a new little thing. But other than that, it very much is fine-tuning, improving, polishing, expanding upon what we saw in the previous entry. But it is, it's a lot of fun to play this sort of thing. It's something where I'm thinking if you are a hardcore wrestling fan, you've had, it was a bit rough last year's version, and last year's version was, a step in the right direction. I think this is a further step past that. I think this is presenting something that is very clean, polished, well running. It's aesthetically pleasing. It captures the spirit of the WWE, obviously, as you can tell perfectly well here. I mean, I too remember the iconic footage of God throwing Jason Voorhees across the ring. It was majestic. And, if you are a fan of, like, John Cena, they've done a nice little maybe tribute and or integration with him in this one. So I think if you are a fan of that aspect of it, I think you're going to quite like having, a dive into his career and the moves he's made and some of the things that have happened. And I think it's just kind of a nice little educational tool, but also a fun little celebratory type tool of what the individual has done. And then you've got that range of different modes. You can jump in, you can just have some fun doing quick play. You can download some custom characters, make your own custom characters, have fun with that. There's really no limits. Like, you can literally scan in, like, images and stuff, and it's nuts. Like, honestly, some of the designs, and they're gonna get better and better too, because this is literally like the first week or whatever. They're gonna get even more crazy, or I guess you would say crazier. But yeah, this is a nice little extra element too that I personally find incredibly entertaining. I mean, like, look at this. It's crazy. It's absolutely madness. But yeah, that's just kind of a nice, again, well-rounded portion of this experience. You got your, kind of universe with the sandbox mode. You've got your My Faction with the cards. You got your My Rise where you work through the story. You got your My GM where you manage everything. I'm a little hard-pressed to kind of find, what else you could really ask for. A lot of this has multiplayer integration. Some of it's, it's still just single-player type stuff you can enjoy if you choose to go at it that way. You can do a quick play locally with others. You can do a quick play alone against the AI. There's varying difficulty elements. You can do online matches against others. You can kind of work with others to a degree. And, there's a lot of content in this game. And the content gets expanded upon a little bit further, where you get all the customized things. Because I guess I maybe focus on characters almost a little bit too much. But, there's like custom stages and celebrations, and there's a lot of custom elements you can download and enjoy and have fun with, and it's pretty well done, and just a variety of unique locales, I guess you would say, in terms of like where the stadiums or the mats where they kind of face off. There's like a nice fun castle one, and there's one where you're in like a high school. And, I think they got the main events, like a War Games backdrop, just a well-rounded variety of differing places that you can actually go off on. Oh, wow, I'm up. That is hilarious. And then, you've got all these really easy prompts you can use. The spit taunt thing seems to be a little bit more in focus. I almost don't remember that from a previous entry, but it is kind of funny. You just kind of like do like a toxic sort of hit on someone. But I think they've actually compiled something that is, like, pretty fun to play. It's got all these different moves you can do. You're also always being, like, there's, like, a rating system, too, for your, like, performance of matches. Like, how entertaining the match is, how exciting the match is. Just adds an extra layering to what's going on, really, too, right? It's just, like, the ridiculousness of the competition out there. And I think that in itself is quite a fun, nice touch for this sort of game. But you can see the stamina here where I'm just kind of out and everything like that. I almost think the stamina could be tightened up a little bit where it's not like, you get these long stretches where there's a bunch of people just like absolutely, kind of exhausted and out of it for a while. But it does add a nice layering to, hey, you need to be careful with, your character, how far you're pushing this individual, and the impact that could make on your ability to perform in the ring, and whether or not you're going to be able to actually, get your task at hand done, or if that's going to be what basically causes you to have like a falling out of the ring and everything like that. It does actually make a substantial difference, and I'm sure there'll be some varying opinions on, how much that impacts gameplay. But I think in general, it all handles well. Happy with the controls. I'm happy with the style of gameplay. I think it offers a lot for you to do, a lot for you to enjoy, a lot of fun to be had. Whether you are doing an insane Royal Rumble of ridiculousness, or if you're doing something a little bit more serious with the proper roster of, wrestlers that exist out there, I do think there's a little something for basically everyone to enjoy and have fun with. And, I do think it captures the spirit, the style, and the excitement of the wrestling in the modern era. It builds off a strong foundation that we had the year prior, and I look forward to seeing where it kind of goes, as I would imagine they will continue to build off of this, because like I said, I really, I personally don't know what else they would add modes-wise at this point. You see that with a lot of sporting titles. It's kind of like they seemingly have everything. I guess just more zany things they could do, but like literally you've got like, you can have like cage battles, and there's different like weapons you can bring in, and the characters all interact with each other. I would say maybe like gameplay mechanics wise, it'd be cooler if these larger scale scenarios there was more like trio based things, or because they basically split off into twos almost most of the time. It'd be neat to see more dynamic things where it's like there's a presence of, wow, there's a lot of us here kind of going at it. It would just be kind of neat. But they do things like they hop over each other, they hit each other, you'll see some team ups occasionally. But other than that, gameplay mechanics-wise, everything seems pretty accessible. Seems easygoing. and it seems like a fine, well, generally great entry for the WWE franchise. 2K23 is ready to go, and again, a blast, especially with these custom characters. Just delightful.